What's crack-a-lackin' YouTube? Kicking the boots off and heading to bed. But before I do, make a quick little video. YouTube, the society we live in is batshit crazy. You got women who are refusing to shave their pits simply because it's a gender issue, not because they want to, because gender controls their thought process. You know, and it's ridiculous. Like, if you want to, you want to. You don't want to, you don't want to. That's your choice. But this isn't the first time we've seen hair become a political issue. Apparently, if you're a white dude rocking dreads, that's cultural appropriation. Because I have some Scottish Viking in me, can I sit here and say that the Minnesota Vikings helmet is cultural appropriation? No, I can't. It doesn't work like that. However, and this is where the two differences lie. One, if you see a white person rocking stereotypical black hairdos, as long as they're not acting like it, who cares? It's just hair, you know? The hair is not personally going out of the hair's way to racially insult you. And last time I checked, this is how hairdos spread throughout cultures. If you look at the history of hair, with the different cultures, the Indians, the Hindus, etc., the Vikings, you'll see that hair has different styles that have spread throughout time. It's just cultural expansion would be the word. On the other hand, there are some situations where minorities are being told you can't wear this hairdo, but their white coworker gets away with it, and that's where the frustration lies. Rocking my Liberty Bell Bic lighter because that's what's up. We're gonna let freedom ring. Yes. Now, there are people back in the day who got treated way worse because of the color of their skin, and if they heard people now, like, bitching about racial oppression because of hair, not because back in the 50s, you know what I'm saying? I'm not going to go there because you already know what I'm talking about. It's just an ugly reminder of our past. The reason why a lot of white folks today are being called racist is because of the crap that other whites have done in the past. It's just how it is, man. And it's an ugly reminder of what people have done in the past. And the only reason we hold on to that past is to remind ourselves of the future. Then you know what I'm saying? Racism's a bitch because it exists in all races, period. You break down the word racism, you take the word ism out, you have the word race. And race exists everywhere. The rat race in life, and people are sitting there judging each other based off of racial separation and bullshit like that. And it's complete horse crap, to be honest. Now, my last live stream was like 4 hours long. And unironically, I ended up having to take a shit in my last live stream. I was trying not to do it, but then the vegan teacher was making this weird song about what's in your butt. So the time to be an ultimate smartass was upon. I mean, you couldn't actually see it happen, but you have people out there who are more concerned about what you eat instead of, actually making a difference in the world. Like if she was using those catchy little jingles to end racism and sexism, I'd be like, you're fighting for something, but whether or not people eat vegetables, it's just one of those things. And when I point out the obvious side of it, like I did in my 4 hour long live stream, it's going to piss a lot of people off. It might piss off the extremist feminazis, extremist vegans, and my trolls in general because that's just how it is. But now the cultural appropriation of hair has gone so far that, you know, 9 times, like when you see that radical side of feminism where feminazis refuse to shave their pits because it's about gender issue, not because they just feel like it, you know what I'm saying? They have to make it about gender, and then they bitch when guys do the same thing. Why are you making it about gender, they say. They're looking at us guys going, why are you making it about gender? And these are confusing times. If you say pink is a girl's color, you get called a sexist, but you say you like the color blue and you happen to be a guy, you get called a toxic male because you're just a stereotypical male, blah, 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 blah. But on the same flip side of that argument, if you were to say a sexist thing like pink is a girl's color, women would scream that colors are not gender neutral, or they are, and they can be, and they can't be. It really doesn't matter. It's just a color. Pink, blue, purple, whatever. It depends on how people interpret it. They can and can't be. But imagine for a second, ladies, if liking the color pink was considered toxic. And then your gender got attacked for it. And you were called a toxic female or a toxic feminist. Oh wait, toxic feminists do exist. They're called feminazis. They ruin the feminist movement in general. You got feminazis who are sexist towards men, and then you got feminists who are fighting for gender equality for females all over the world, not just in the Western world, mind you. Because there are countries like in the Middle East where women are super oppressed. It's 108 degrees outside, hotter than Satan's balls outside, and women are being forced to wear camping tents. Because if they dare show ankle, it's a sin against Allah or some stupid shit like that. I'm like, dude, you want to talk about sexually oppressed? Holy shit. Now, my last video, some of the comments I made in my 4-hour live stream might be taken the wrong way. Like some of the jokes I made were a little, and people are gonna get the wrong idea about it. They're gonna be like, "Oh my God, Cobra is such a sexist, typical male." Like, I'm like, where's your sense of humor? If Amy Schumer made jokes like that, you'd be laughing your ass off about that shit. If men were like, those jokes are sexist and it made me feel uncomfortable, you'd call us a sexist and say, why? Women can be funny too. And that's what I love about it. If women make jokes about sexism, men just sit there and laugh uncomfortably like, that shit happens to us too. Okay, where's she going with this? Not trying to be that guy, but the assumption of how is it sexist if it happens to men? Because all men are sexist is ironically a sexist statement. That's why the Me Too movement was created. Is because when women bitch about sexism, men will say, you know, that happens to me too, just on a different scale. But people don't look at it like that. They look at it the oppression points and which side does it more when both sides do it equally. And that's why dating in this modern day and age can suck. We have social distancing because of the pandemic. Women and men don't trust each other. And, yeah. Well, at least in a Western society, women have had more rights than they've ever had. If you would have told a woman in the 1950s that women will be able to run for president in 2020, they would look at you like you were batshit insane. So instead of being grateful that women have more rights, some women have taken it upon themselves to now turn that decades of female oppression onto men, and that's just not going to fix anything. If you want people to fight for female equality or racial equality, being a racist or a sexist right back is just going to make the situation worse. Like, you got these females on TikTok who are raving about their hairy pits, and it's like, no one gives a shit. You're sitting here acting like you're some radical chick, like, look at me, ooh. Guys have hairy pits too, calm the fuck down. Yeah. Is that like your female equality of a fragile male? They're like, I see you growing hair, I can grow hair better. You know my definition of a fragile male? You and your girlfriend get into a farting contest. Your girlfriend lets out a nice, loud, juicy fart. You're trying not to laugh, but at the same time, you're like, I'm not gonna let. You don't want to let your girlfriend beat you in a farting contest. Your fragile male ego just. Your fragile male ego just can't handle your girlfriend beating you in a farting contest. So you fart as hard as you can, and you end up just shitting your pants in front of your girlfriend, clowning yourself, dude. Like, yeah, you won the contest, but you also won a fresh, brand new pair of britches. Like, no one gives a fuck if your pits are hairy or not. It's, what do you have to say? Give us a convincing argument other than you're a crazy bitch with a lot of opinions. Oh, jeez, Cobra. Calm down. Because that's the kind of crap that feminism has to deal with. Like, if you say you're a feminist, the first thing people think of is some radical haired chick with crazy colored hair screaming, fuck the patriarchy. And it's like. And then you start to think, like, if you spend decades fighting female oppression just to try to give men decades of the same crap, just to have literally, and I'm being ironic with this, reverse sexism. Now men are going to spend decades fighting for their rights. And it's stupid. Why can't we all just be like, you know what? We've survived as a species this fucking long, so it's 2020. Why do we. Oh, should I say 2021? I forgot it was New Year's Eve. It's 2021. You think racism and sexism and all this bullshit could be done? You're in the middle of a fucking pandemic, and on top of it, you know what I'm saying? It is just ridiculous, YouTube. You see dudes wearing dresses and chicks not shaving their pits like they're trying to shock people. It's like no one's shocked by that shit anymore, man. If you're shocked or offended, you get called a bigot. And it's like, well, if you're not going out of your way to bully someone for doing these things, who cares? If you're shocked, offended, or grossed out by it, that's your choice. But, like, if you're going out of your way to personally harass people for it, that's fucked. And there are plenty of people who have different tastes on the dating scene. Not all men are into the supermodels, you know, and I'm realistic about it. Like, I'm not expecting that on myself, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, dude, if you're gonna fucking shame someone for having standards, that's kind of fucked. Everyone's got standards, regardless if it's the dating scene or not. You know, if you're going to a place to get groceries, you would expect that, and when you're used to walking in there, everything's stocked, it's clean. You come used to that standard, do you not? Do you not? Exactly my point. That's a basic example, but people see the videos where I'm pooping on camera and cussing excessively using the C word, and people get offended. And that's natural to be offended. But using your words to express yourself versus using your anger is a much healthier way of doing it. And I feel like people get offended for the wrong reasons sometimes. But people are offended by different shit, you know what I'm saying? That's just how life works. You can't control what someone's offended by. And you can't speak for everyone's experiences either, so at the same time, it's, you know. I'm all for political correctness, but then it goes to the point where you're just trying too hard to pick a fight or some next big movement. I got a big movement for you. That was a reference to my last video, which was horrible to reference, but there you go. What does me pooping have to do with being vegan? I have no fucking idea, but you got the vegan teacher just going off about what's in your ass, what's in your face, and I'm like, is she talking about eating ass or being vegan? I'm confused. Seriously, the vegan teacher's going off about what's in your ass, what's in your face, and at some point you have to wonder: is she talking about eating ass? She probably won't eat it if like you've consumed animal fat. Like if you ate a bacon cheeseburger, she's probably not going to eat it. Like eating ass is gross. I was just being a smart ass. Okay, that's oh boy. Like if you eat tofu and beans and it gives you the gas, you definitely don't want to be eating ass. After that, that'd be some nasty ass shit, dude. You'd be sitting there, nom 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 nom. Vegan healthy options, man. And then your vegan partner just accidentally rips ass while you're doing it, and it smells like tofu and beans. I shouldn't laugh at that because I was so fucking inappropriate, but god damn it. And there's a point that Daz made on that video. He's like, look, we're not making fun of vegans. We're making fun of the extremist assholes who are preachy about it. And that's what's funny about it, dude. Like, vegans are like, we gotta find a way to stop the cow farts. Wait, but if you kill cows and turn them into hamburgers, that's also killing animals. Shit. It's quite the dilemma. And if it happens to be an angry feminazi with a liberal arts degree who's also vegan, and she's got a rainbow mohawk, oh, look out. I'm just kidding, ladies. That was a little too far. She hates men and she's pissed off about something. Okay, stop. No, no, not all feminists are like that. Yeah. You claim to be feminist, but you're a raging sexist bitch towards men and society in general. You're always pissed off about something. You might be a feminazi. Bill Ingvalds, you might be a feminazi if the word gynecologist pisses you off because it's a woman's vagina. Why is the word guy in it? Stop. Josh, god damn it. Well, you know, the same reason why they call it a proctologist, because men are assholes, right? Okay, no, that wasn't funny. In all seriousness, to YouTube, that's just how it is. Like, we're afraid to call racism and sexism when it happens to other people, but when certain people do it, it's just called out. And that's not really addressing the issue as a whole, it's just covering it when certain people do it. And I use the word certain people loosely because, you know, I'm not here to name names or, you know. My sense of humor is wicked, but ooh, I can piss a lot of people off with it. Like, ooh. But honestly, I examined a truth earlier that was on point, dude. Vegans want to talk about how you're murdering animals. So you eat plants to save animals, but you're taking food out of the animal's mouth, starving the animal, which could kill them, and then on top of it, you're murdering another living thing to eat. So if anything is twice as selfish as eating the cow in the first place. Like, you're gonna throw a stink because someone eats a cow. Well, no, I'm throwing a stink because you're eating the cow's food. Like, what the And that's just the whole point of it. Like, if you want to eat vegetables, eat vegetables. You want to eat meat, eat meat. You know what I'm saying? Just don't be a preachy asshole about it. Like, fuck. I mean, the 3 video responses I did earlier for a 4-hour long live stream, it was just like, wow, that's enough crazy for one day. Like, good God. Where do we even find these people? I feel like women who purposefully don't shave their pits because they want to make it an issue about gender or insecure with their identity as a woman because it's just fucking hair. If you tell men they can't have long hair, they grow it long, like they did in the 70s. And women have shorter hair, etc. So really, it's the argument is stupid. Considering that when women first were born on this planet, they already had hair all over their bodies just like men did. So it really makes no difference what you do with your hair. It's just hair. It grows out of your body. That's it. And people are trying to make it into this big thing about gender or race, and it's like, or someone decides to no longer dye their hair green or whatever. It's so stupid, dude. I'm like, is this the society we live in now? It's something that Tara Babcock says on her videos. So who cares? Do what you're gonna do and let people say what they're gonna say. And to some extent, that's true because you can't judge people what they're gonna do. Like, you know what I'm saying? You get a fucking mohawk and people are gonna be looking at you like, eh, aren't you special? The point I'm making to wrap this video up, honestly, the point I'm making is that people are getting judged to such a point that we're getting judged right down to the hair that grows out of our body. There are some guys who shave their pits, you know. So honestly, this whole radical idea of, oh, look at me, or you know, and do you think the patriarchy gives a shit whether you shave your pits or not? No, they don't, to be honest. But what really gets them is having a voice and making that voice be heard. You know what I'm saying? For some people, it's a lot to take in. You got some radical female screaming into a megaphone, "Puck," you know what I'm saying? You got some radical female with her hair dyed hot pink to match her armpit hair, which is also dyed hot pink, and she has her armpit hair braided. Her tits are hanging out. She has "Men are pigs" written across her tits in Sharpie, and she's screaming into a megaphone, "Fuck the patriarchy." And there's some old dude living nearby who doesn't have the internet, so he can't access, he gets word from a friend of his that there's a chick standing in the street naked. Well, you know what's gonna happen. He's gonna hobble on down. Oh, god damn it! Puts on his best Sunday suit and a little bit of cologne, and he's hopping to it, man. Then he gets told, "Dude, when you get there, don't stare at her tits. She'll get really pissed off." But then, of course, when she's screaming into his ear with a megaphone, he's like, "Ow, fuck, I'm deaf now." Looks down, oh shit, there's tits hanging out. Damn. And then the screaming in the megaphone just gets louder. This is why. My point being is you shouldn't have to go that far with it to make your voice be heard. You have social media. You have your own platforms. You shouldn't have to objectify yourself like that, you know? Usually when radical women are half naked in the streets protesting some shit like that, like protesting the patriarchy, it's because they know sex sells. The female form has been overly sexualized in our society, and people are shocked by nudity, so it's like, hey, this works. It's my body, I'll do whatever the fuck I want with it. But could you imagine if men were walking around naked protesting sexism towards men and rape that men received? They wouldn't go over so well. They would get thrown on the SO list and put in jail for indecent exposure. They just sit there and take a bunch of Viagra's, like, one at a time. For the next 4 hours or so, they're in the streets protesting with a picket sign. No, it wouldn't work like, dude, it wouldn't work. It wouldn't work like that. Your voice is more powerful than your body, ladies. You gotta know this. And it's the truth, because if women scream sexism, no matter how bad it is, it gets changed. If men scream it, we get told, "Shut up, you pussy." There was a store in Australia, a clothing store, and this is a story that Sydney Watson brought up, mind you. But there was an independent clothing store in Australia that had a shirt on the shelf that said, "Boys will be boys." A woman saw the shirt, she got offended, took a picture of it, posted it all over social media, and eventually the shop owner took the shirt down, apologizing, you know. But then Target Australia had a shirt in the female section. It was a shirt that said, um, "Girls are smarter than," you know what I'm saying? And it was one of those shirts. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't gotta go into detail. It was one of them shirts. You know what I'm saying? A dude saw it and was like, "Hey man, that's kind of sexist. Could you take it down?" And Target Australia said it's part of our women's youth series. We're not going to take it down because it's meant to empower women. Which I'm all for empowering women, but here's the thing of it. At what cost? Being a sexist towards men, then your point of gender equality is lost. And now, if men start becoming victimized, it doesn't end the cycle, it just continues it. And arguing this point is exhausting because it really is. I mean, imagine if Target Australia had a shirt that said boys are stronger. Women would lose their shit. And if women called Target Australia to complain about the shirt being sexist towards women and degrading, and if Target said, and I quote, "This is meant to empower boys, it's part of our youth series, we're not going to take the shirt off the shelves," there would be a riot. Women would be marching in the streets with pitchforks, and there'd be screams of sexism and lawsuits left and right. And eventually, the women would get what they want because women are boss like that. And if you hate it, that's just your problem. Because there's shit that men do that they get away with too, and that's the thing of it. You can't just sit there and bitch when the other side does it if you do it yourself. That's just, dude. Eh. I'll catch you later, YouTube. I wasn't trying to piss anyone off with the video responses that I did earlier or anything. It's just 2021's off to a glorious start. It really is how you perceive it, you know.